Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to start data science using Python. So we are going to see different libraries that we can use to organize, to format our data using Python. So the first library that we are going to discuss and we are going to use different functions is the NumPy. So we are going to import this library and we are going to use different functions of this NumPy library. So let's begin. In order to use different functions of this library NumPy, we have to import it first. So I type here import NumPy as NP. So the reason I'm writing this as NumPy is that you don't want to write NumPy again and again in order to use its function. So you just type here np.array like this. So it is much handy to use the libraries like this and to define the shortcuts before using it. Now I'm also going to import the time library as well as the system. From system import get size of. So we are going to use this function get size of. So from the system library I'm going to import this function. Now I run these two lines. Now first what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a list and then I'm going to create an array, and then finally I will compare the size of the list and the array, and you will see that the size of an array with the same elements as the list is half of its size. So array has much smaller size as compared to the list. So first I'm going to create an empty list like this, and here I will print the size of this empty list. First get size of, so the size of this list is 56. Now let's insert some values in this list. So these are the 100,000 digits that I'm going to insert in this list, and then I'm not going to print out this because it is not useful. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to print out the size of this list so that I can show you that what its size. Get size of, and the size is 800,000 around. And here now I'm going to create an array, a NumPy array. So here I type NumPy array1 equal to np.array, and I'm going to insert the same elements here. For x in range 100,000, and I'm going to print the size of this NumPy array. So here it is saying that NP is not defined, but I have already defined here. Let's import NumPy again as NP. Now it's working. Okay, so here you can see the size of an array is almost half of the list. So this is the difference between the list and an array. The array will work same as the list, but it will take less space in your disk. Now another feature of the NumPy array is the processing speed. So now we have seen that the size of a NumPy array is half of the size of the list. So now we are going to see the processing speed. Like the processing speed of the NumPy array is also very fast as compared to the list. For that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the time library that we have imported in the beginning of this video. So here I type start as a variable, and I'm going to save the time. The start time I'm going to save in this variable. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to calculate the time taken for the processing of the list. The list is here, X list, which contains the 100,000 digits. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a value 100 in each element of this list, and then I'm going to calculate the time that it takes to process it. So here I created a variable xlist100 added, and here I add x plus 100 for x in xlist. Then I'm going to save another time, which is the list time. And what is the list time? It is the time, the current time minus the start time. And finally, I'm going to print the list time. Correct. Now let's run this. So this is a time for processing. So it is very small, like in the millis or microseconds. So it is very short time. It is in the milliseconds, I think. Now we will see the same thing in NumPy array. We are going to see the processing time when we add 100 in each element of the NumPy array. So here I type np array 2, I name it the second array, and here it will save the NumPy array, which is the xlist, the list of all the digits, the 100,000 digits. And now here I'm going to save the start time, again time function, and NumPy array 200 added equal to NumPy array plus 100. So I'm going to add 100 in each element of this array, and I'm going to save the time taken for this processing in the array time function minus the start time, and I'm going to print the array time. Alright, so I'm missing 2 here. So the time is very small that it didn't even show that how much time it is. Maybe after the decimal we have a couple of zeros, and after that we have some digits. So it rounded off the value and shown 0.0. But here when I run this again, you can see the time it taken. So here it is, after 2 zeros we have some values. So it is after the milliseconds. So here you can compare the time taken for the processing, and this is how NumPy arrays are mostly used when processing the data which is in the, like, it is in the huge amount. Now we are going to insert some values in a NumPy array and defining a matrix. So here I create a variable a equal to np.array, and I insert some values. Here we can also check the dimension of this array. So the function we are going to use is ndim. The dimension is 2. If we want to check the shape of this array, it is 2, 3. 2 rows and 3 columns. We can also check the size, item size, which is 4. Now we will create another array, and this time we can also define the type of the values that we are inserting into this array. So here I create another variable b equal to numpy.array, and here I define the same values. And here I type dtype equal to np.float 64. So it is 64-bit float number. We will print this variable, and we will check the size again, item size. So you can notice that the size is now doubled. because we have used the floating 64-bit number. And if we do the same thing and this time we type here complex, now the size is doubled of 8 and we have 16. So this is how you can define the type of an array by using this function dtype. Now let's see some more functions of this numpy array. So here I type line space and I can create a line space of 1, 5 and 6. So starting from 1 till 5 and there will be 6 values, and here I'm going to print this variable. So here we have got 6 values. We can also create an identity matrix of any dimension, like here I created of 3 by 3, print C, or I can create with a custom dimension like 5 or 3, and here we got the output. Here I can also create a diagonal matrix. The values should be 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I define it in a matrix form. You can also create a matrix of zeros, np dot zeros 2 comma 3, and if you insert another digit, like if I enter here 2, then this digit will be used, like it will be used as the number of elements in a set, like this is the first set and this is the another set, and it has created a matrix of 3 rows and 2 columns. And if I want to change to 2 rows and 3 columns, then it will be like this. If I change to 4, then we will have 4 sets of these matrices. And in the same way you can also type here ones, which will create matrix of ones. So now I'm going to create another variable, and this time we are going to print out the matrix of random numbers. So here I type np.random dot rand n and 4 comma 3, print e. So here we have 4 rows and 3 columns. Here I create another variable, and now we will see that so far we have used the range function, right? And we like type here the number, like how many numbers we want, and we have used the range function mostly in the for loops. But here if I type a range function and print out a value like the second element, which is actually the third because we start from 0, 1, 2, so you can see that we got the result 2. But in the numpy we can also use the range function. It has its own range function and it is called arange. So for example, here I type np dot arange and we can print out this element like this. So this is how you can use the arange function. Here I create another variable, and we can use this arange function to create a matrix. Like here I type np dot arange, I define the value, and here I type reshape to 3 rows and 4 columns, and I will print g, and here it is. So for example, if I type here, I remove the second element, you can see that it has printed out an array, the list of all the elements. But you can also reshape it into a matrix form, and here I have reshaped it to 3 rows and 4 columns. Now we are going to use some character functions, like sorting some characters using the numpy array. So the first we have the function. Like first I'm going to use a print function, and here I type np dot char add, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create two sets. The first is I type here, for example, hello, and here I type hi. I also inserted a single space here, and here I create another set and another array, and here I add, for example, ABC XYZ. So you can see here that we can add these two values, hello with ABC and hi with XYZ. Now we can also use this numpy array functions for characters to design the to give a sort of designs to our text. So here I type print np.char.center, and here, for example, I type here Python, and I want 20 dashes, so I type here fill char equal to, it will write this text at the center and there will be dashes around it. So here I will run this, and this is how you can arrange your text and put some designs for it. So if I replace it with a asterisk, you can also put your letters in the uppercase. So here I type numpy.char dot capitalize like this. So it has returned only the first letter of this word in capital. Now if you want to convert it into whole capital, so what I will use here, I will use the function upper like this, or if you want to change this whole sentence into lowercase, then I can replace it with first and then I will change it to lower. You can also define titles using the numpy. So here I type print numpy char dot title Python course on Udemy. So here you can see each letter of every word is now in uppercase. There is another function which is the split function, which will split all these words and it will create a list of these words. There is another function called split lines, and for example, I change this text first. So from where I have to split these lines, so here I type /n, and here you can see. So in this way you can use this function. There's another function called strip, which will remove the characters that you want to remove from the words. So for example, here I type admin acrobat aeroplane, and here I want to strip character A, and you can notice that character A is now removed. There is another function, this is the last one for this video, which is the replace. So you can replace anything, like here I first remove this, I type here an example text, he is a good engineer, and here I want to replace is with was. So I hope you have understood this lecture about how you can use the NumPy library to organize, to sort your data. And this was an overview video, and if you want to learn more about this library, if you want to learn more functions, that you can use with this library, you can just visit the numpy.org, and there you can find the list of functions that you can use. And here you can find the examples also, that how these functions are used. So thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.